Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, my name is Kayla, and here we love to talk about all things luxury beauty, luxury makeup, high-end beauty and high-end makeup, which as I always say are the same thing, but it makes me feel good to say luxury and high-end. So today we are gonna talk about this La Prairie Skin Caviar. I have to look at it, y'all. It's so fancy. Concealer and foundation. Look, it even comes with this little stand. So this is not a new product. So like, I just couldn't resist because I've been hearing recently, for some reason, everybody rave about it. So I finally picked it up. And y'all, let me tell you, it did and does not disappoint. So if you want to see my application of it, hear my thoughts about it, hear how it wears, then just keep watching. Okay, so here is the foundation. It comes with this stand and this little brush. It is super, super fancy, y'all. So here's the little top with the concealer in it. Which, I mean, I used the concealer a little bit the other day just to kind of cover up some of my blemishes, but I mean, I guess it's convenient, but I still like to use my NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the pot to do that. So again, I have this in the shade NC10, and when you open this up, I'm so sorry, y'all. The camera might keep shaking. So we're getting a new table, and we don't have it yet. So I have my tripod here and I'm on like a little stool, and the tripod is like as tall as I am, and Mickey keeps running into it. So if the camera shakes a little bit, I am very, very sorry. So here we go. You twist off the top and it's got this like little spatula thingy. Now I will say it does have a scent, but I actually kind of like it, y'all. It's a really, really nice scent. It is strong, and I do smell it like for a good couple hours after I put it on. And then the other day I wore it whenever I had to wear my mask all day, and I smelled it like in the mask, but I didn't mind it because it smells good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this for y'all. Okay, so I will say you do not need a lot of this. The first time I used it, I used way too much. And I mean, it still looks beautiful, but it was just too much. So I haven't used anything on my face other than my skincare. I left my blemishes out in the open so that y'all can see how this covers it up and the level of coverage that it has. So I just took the little spatula out, and what I've been doing is, I know this is gross and it freaks some people out, but I don't want to waste any of this. And if I put it on the back of my hand, I feel like it's going to be wasted. I don't know if that makes sense. But I've just been taking like that, okay? Flipping it over, just like the tiniest little bit. And look, another thing is how dark this looks. Okay, it looks dark, but somehow it magically melds into my skin and becomes the same color as my skin. I don't know how. It's sorcery, but you're gonna see. So I just kind of do like this, spread it out a little bit with my finger first, and then I go in with my beauty blender. I do just take it down my neck just a little, since it is a little dark, but you'll see it really melds into my skin tone. Okay, so as you can see, that is one really, really light layer. It did provide some coverage for my blemishes, and as you can see, the finish is just like extremely natural. I have no other way to describe it. It's not too dewy, it's not too matte. It is just like the perfect natural skin-like finish. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add just a tiny, tiny little bit more on my cheeks and on the bridge of my nose. That's typically what I do unless it's like a full coverage foundation. So just a tiny, tiny little bit. And a little bit right here for good measure. Okay, so that is one layer just with a little bit added to my cheeks, my chin, the bridge of my nose. But like I said, I do that with most foundations. It actually provides some pretty decent coverage. So as you can see, as dark as it was when it went on, it like melded and blended into my skin tone and adapted. I don't know how, I don't know what kind of sorcery it is, but it's magical. And again, as you can see, it provides, let me come in a little bit. It provides like, it's not dewy, it's not matte, it's just very, very skin-like. Now, just for the sake of this video, like I said before, I don't really reach for the concealer, but I am gonna use it today just so that y'all can see what the coverage looks like. I'm gonna use it to cover up some of my blemishes, not under my eyes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take some with my finger. It is really creamy, and just pat it on to my blemishes. So as you can see, it did a pretty decent job of covering them up. Let me blend out the edges just a little bit better. And as far as convenience, like for travel, I think that's really, really great to just have that like all in one. So as compared to the NARS matte concealer in the little pot that I typically use for my blemishes, this one is definitely more emollient and more, I guess, dewy, for lack of a better term. Obviously the NARS is matte. I mean, I consider it like a natural matte. This one is definitely more emollient and more dewy, and it doesn't set down quite as much. But I mean, once I set my face, do my concealer and set it with a little bit of powder, I don't think it's gonna be an issue. I did use it yesterday for my blemishes, but I wore a mask. So, I mean, obviously this wore off, although I will say it wore off very naturally, especially like for travel. I think it's fantastic. So I'm gonna cover up the other little blemishes that I have as well. I mean, I'm not even really sure what else to say. I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. It's so, so beautiful, y'all. I really, really love it. So one more look before I set it. Extremely natural. You don't need a lot. I know she's super expensive, but a little bit goes a long way. So I am going to go ahead and do my concealer, finish up the rest of my face, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. Okay, y'all, so here is the finished look. I obviously added concealer, but I set it with a little bit of my Clé de Peau translucent loose setting powder. I had to think of the name of it there. Mickey clearly found his blanket. He loves his blanket. Anyways, again, as you can see, it provides such a beautiful, beautiful finish. And as far as the wear, I did wear it yesterday. We were outside all day. Granted, for Louisiana, it felt really amazing outside yesterday, but I did have to wear my mask, put it on, take it off several times to go inside, but we were outside pretty much all day. And even with that, all I had was like the tiniest little bit of wear on my nose and on my chin, but like it just looked natural, y'all. It really, really blew my mind. I also wore it one day to work where I pretty much have to wear a mask all day, and it definitely faded, but again, it was so natural. And even with all of the redness that I have in my face, it somehow faded so naturally that it just looked like my skin was coming through. It wasn't like some foundations where you have this like distinct line, like, oh, it's worn off on your chin. Oh, it's worn off on your nose. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I hope that y'all understand what I'm saying. It just wears so beautifully. I feel like the benefits that it has, like all of the ingredients that it has, are just really, really good for your skin. My skin, when I take it off, it just feels so soft and hydrated. I don't even know how to describe it. I really love it. I don't think that I've had it long enough to say like, oh, this is the best foundation ever, but y'all, I really, really love it. And I have been reaching for it since I got it, even like wearing it under my mask. I didn't want to, but I finally did. And I'm like, dang, this is really, really nice. So, I mean, I have really, really been loving it. I know it's expensive. I do. There's other foundations out there that aren't nearly as expensive, but work amazingly. But I've really, really been loving it. I love the finish that it gives to my skin. And I feel like too, it'll work across a wide range of skin types. So I feel like if you have oily skin, it'll work. I feel like if you have dry skin, it'll work, because it's just that perfect finish where it's not matte and it's not dewy or greasy. It's just a very natural satin skin-like finish. And I have really, really been loving it. So let me know in the comment section down below, have you tried this foundation? If you have, what are your thoughts? Do you love it as much as I do? If you haven't, are you interested in trying it? Also, if you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you like my content, please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you as part of our little fam here on YouTube. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's at beautybykaylak. I'd love to see you over there too. And again, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.